Time for some email. You
All right,
ready?
let's go for it. Okay.
Okay, let's bring it on with Stacy, first of all, this morning. She says, anytime I have read the story or seen any movie telling of the death of Jesus, Mary is always mentioned, but never Joseph. Does the Bible tell where Joseph was during the crucifixion? I would think he would have been there. Is there any record of his death before? And if so, what does it say?
We really don't know. You'd think that somehow he may have passed on. I think he was a good deal older than Mary, and it may be that he had died at that point. We don't have any record that I'm aware of.
But he surely would have been there.
Oh, I think he definitely would have, absolutely.
So that's the presumed response, I think. Okay, Pat, this is Kathy who says, Matthew 19:24 says, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. What does this mean? All
right. The needle was an arch in Jerusalem that was rather low, and a camel couldn't fit.
Was it a doorway?
Yeah, it's a doorway. It's in the wall. It's a place in the wall, and it's called the needle, and a camel couldn't go through it. So it's easier for the camel to do that for a rich man because he's got as much baggage as a camel's hump. Yeah. And he's got so much concern about his money and his possessions that he can't go through. That's what it means.
But again, it's talking about the heart of a man, not so much whether you have money or not,
well,
right?
it's talking about where your heart is. You're exactly right. But the average rich man is pretty much absorbed with his money.
Yes. Okay, this is a viewer who says, I recognize that the Bible describes God as loving and a God of all comfort. I see how he continues to forgive the Israelites and the saints. But a cloud of condemnation has been over me. I know God's character and that he's never surprised, but my conscience has me wondering what his attitude toward me is when I sin against him alone. Please help.
Well, I don't know what you're doing. You haven't told me. Is there something ongoing sin? Are you engaged in pornography? Are you doing something that you're ashamed of? Are you stealing? I don't know. But what you're saying is, I'm breaking God's laws on an ongoing basis, and I want somebody to tell me it's okay. And the somebody is not going to tell you because it's not okay. What you need to do is to stop whatever it is that you're guilty of. And when you do that, you're going to feel a release. But get before the Lord, and he will forgive you. But let me tell you, he is a God who forgives. Thank the Lord he forgives. All right?
Okay, this is Joseph who says, when I pray, I usually pray silently. Do I need to pray out loud for God to hear me?
No. All right.
Okay. Okay. So this is Aaliyah who says,
whatever.
There are some people who want to serve God but find it hard to do so. They feel like something is holding them back. Is there something these people must let go of in order to get closer to God?
Stories told about a Teutonic chieftain who got baptized, and he says, well, I don't want to get baptized with the hand that holds my battle axe, because I still want to use the battle axe. So he went under the water with his hand outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We want to hold something back. That's the way. That's our nature, and the Lord wants everything. So it's just that simple.
Yeah, you need to let it all go.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Denise who's asking a question about Jonathan Cahn's book, The Shemitah. He says the book's pointing to a great shaking, which could possibly mean an economic disaster. Would you suggest we close out bank accounts or just simply have money on hand? If we should just have money on hand, how much and for how long? What would you do?
I think a rule of thumb is usually it has been 6 months of your expenses that if you had a reserve fund. Cash may work, gold coins may work. I don't know what's going to work. But I tell you, folks, we can't go through life worried about some crash. I mean, there are economic cycles. There's going to be a crash. I think Jonathan Cahn is right on. I think the way God's going to judge the earth is going by going after the money. And I think this 19 trillion and 20 trillion and 22 trillion and all the money that we're piling up in debt is going to come collapsing on us one of these days. And I think that's something that we need to be aware of. So to have a reserve fund, banks could close and you wouldn't be able to get your money. The ATMs may not work. And so imagine if you didn't have any money and you didn't have enough food, it would be difficult. And that's what it amounts to. Well, we leave you with today's Power Minute from Psalm 37, where the psalmist says, "Delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart." Well, tomorrow, a man supernaturally survives a massive hemorrhage. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.